Welcome to Happiness is a Healthier Habit with me, Jackie Poole, where we talk about mom life, weight loss, habits, and everything in between. And so today we are going to be talking about my morning routine and the 6 things that you can do to get a better morning start, especially when you have kiddos, when you have to go to work, when you have things or a busy schedule. These are going to be really good for you to start making better decisions. So as far as how I start my day, I usually start it at night because that's when we, get our sleep in check. Everybody's kind of winding down. So a good night's rest will definitely start you off in the right foot the next day in the morning. So usually the night before, I tend to have the kids play. And even though, the TV is so great as far as kind of helping me keep it quiet or entertaining them, I try to turn it off around 7 or about an hour before the kids go to bed. So even though I might be yelling a few times throughout the night or telling them to settle down, that's something that I do try to do on a regular basis because that TV and just having more quality time is going to help us wind down a lot better than if we were to go straight to sleep after, watching a movie or something like that, which we do, especially like on Friday nights or Saturday nights when we're just out and about on the weekends. But normally through the weekday, it's TV off before bedtime. So about an hour or so. And we read stories, we say our good nights and hugs and all that good stuff. Everybody gets tucked in. And so we usually have dinner around 5, and I try to keep the kitchen clean as, I meal prepped this last weekend. So, I had everything done. So I don't really have to cook until probably Wednesday or so, but I do like having my kitchen clean after we eat dinner, just kind of pop everything in the dishwasher, which is like my best friend. We lived with my parents for a really long time, and something that I hate to do is washing dishes. I'll do anything else but that. And so the dishwasher has definitely been my best friend. So I just kind of tidy up, clean the counters, put the dishwasher on. And so when you wake up the next morning, you're not really thinking about, oh man, I have to clean this, or I have to do the dishes, or I have to start, everything's kind of ready to go, and you don't really think about, all those things that you have to do. Just go straight into what you're going to do. And so, again, it's great to start with a cup of water with lemon in the morning. So I usually set that out the night before and get my clothes ready. That's sometimes. When I used to go to the gym, I did set my clothes out and have like my water bottle and like my gym bag, because I would, brush my teeth, get dressed, get my water, and go, because I was on a time limit. But these days, I know that I'm going to work out after I drop off the kids at the bus, so I don't really set my clothes out anymore. I already know that I'm going to wear my gym clothes. It's just something that I've already mastered. So if you remember, about the last episode we talked about was baby steps. So you have to develop those good habits necessary for you to get you started on what you want to do. So if you want to, start working out or something like that, setting out those clothes would be a really great help to kind of just, you don't have to think about what you're going to wear the next day. You already have everything set, and it's much faster, smoother process in the morning than, if you can't find your socks or you can't find your shoes. I know there's been so many times when I had to go to work and I couldn't find my badge, or I couldn't find my keys, or the kids couldn't find their shoes. So I also get their clothes and things ready, because it's a total disaster when we cannot find shoes and they're just hidden, they're gone. It takes like 15-20 minutes to look for something when you could have had it prepared the night before. And usually, as they get older, kind of set that task for them. Ask them, hey, did you get your clothes ready? You know where your shoes are. Kind of make them independent. So as well, you don't have to be behind them 100% of the time. And of course, it's never going to be perfect, but it's just a great way to teach them habits and know that it's easier when we're not looking for stuff or rushing through in the morning. So, get my clothes ready, and, I get up pretty early. I get up at 4 a.m. And the reason why is because my husband usually comes home pretty late. So I like to go to sleep with the kids. So as soon as they're done, for me, my winding down time is maybe reading 20 minutes or so, and trying to get in the habit about reading again. The holidays kind of threw me off not being home and such. But, in 2022, I actually read like 2.5 books. And that's a lot of reading for me because I've never been like a really fast reader. So this year I want to make it to 3 books. So I need to get back in the habit. So reading is a really good thing for me to do as far as that goes. And it also kind of helps me just, kind of get sleepy and go ahead and get ready for bed. Now, it's very important to get really good quality sleep. A lot of recommendations can be between 6 to 8 hours of sleep. Some people even need 9. So quality and quantity do matter, but as well as setting those things in place for you to get that, good night rest. So like turning off the TV, maybe not being on your phone so much, not drinking coffee so late. There are studies that show that there are times between like 10 and 2 a.m. There's certain hormones that are produced within that time frame, like melatonin or growth hormone, which are very important for, of course, digestion health. And especially growth hormone is one of the hormones that help with weight loss. It helps to maintain our muscle. And I do have more information on the, my fat loss guide. If you're interested in that, I'll put the link in the show notes. But quality and quantity do matter when it comes to sleep, and everybody's different. And so it just depends. I pretty much I'm set with 7 hours. I think 7 hours to 8 hours is pretty good for me. I don't even need my alarm anymore. So that's also, with the habits and how your body adjusts, you don't even need like an alarm or anything like that, which kind of sucks when the time changes. So I don't know how that's going to happen this year. So, but I wake up, I start with about 15 to 20 ounces of water with lemon. And the reason with the lemon, it's really starts kind of moving that digestion process. It kind of starts moving those juices, that stomach acid, and preparing your gut for digestion. So it's really good to start that like 2 to 3 hours before you have a meal, as well as it really gives your body energy, and it just kind of wakes up all the cells. Something that I also do is stretch. So that's like my next thing. After I have my cup of water, I stretch for 5 to 8 minutes. Everything is just popping in the morning, and it feels so good to have like just kind of pop my whole body and just do all these things and kind of do my stretching and breath work, which helps me even focus more on what work I have to do between the hours of 4:15 to 5:15, because once the kids are up, they are needing, to get dressed and need to brush their teeth. We have to, make sure we have our snacks. So, after, once they get going, there's no real time for me to just have that me time for myself, for that, focus for work, unless like my son goes and takes a nap or something like that. But usually, yeah, once the kids are up, it's go, go, go the entire day. And once they wake up, surprisingly, my 2-year-old is always in a good mood when he wakes up. And he's always coming and running to me and, mommy, when he's like so excited, like he's never seen me before. And we are with each other 24/7. And so We get dressed. Eggs is really something that we have for breakfast pretty much every day. There's on occasion where I like to make oatmeal or maybe like a toast with peanut butter and banana. We go walking to the bus, so it's about a 5-minute walk, and they like to race. So I think that's pretty good for them, especially for the boys, because that gives them a lot of energy with those types of breakfasts. But at the same time, they are never full, and sometimes I have to cut my 8-year-old off. He's always hungry, and I just cannot imagine when he's a teenager. Like, I am not ready for that, and eggs are super expensive right now, and we go through like 6 to 8 eggs sometimes in the morning with just them 3, not even like me or my husband. So that's a lot of eggs for just the 3 of them. So I cannot imagine as they get older. When we sit down and have breakfast together, I normally don't eat with them. For me, I'm still fasting. So breakfast for me is just sitting down with them and just like a black tea, which is one of my favorites from Peak Tea. I don't crash, I don't get the jitters, and it's just really made from quality ingredients. If I were to have a coffee, like, Folgers coffee, like the one, we have, my husband likes, but I tend to have that with creamer on occasion when I want like a treat. But if I were to have that alone without any food, I would be bouncing off the walls. I start feeling like anxiety. So that's something that I do notice when I drink the other brand of coffee, and it's just night and day, the feeling of the caffeine effects on my body. So it's good to know and be aware of how you feel when you take those things. But again, the black tea is just perfect to start my day, and it's has probiotics, so it's a great way to aid your digestion as well. And so once we sit down and have our breakfast, I always implement a good habit with gratitude and just being out loud and what we're grateful for. I'm also teaching them my phone number as well as my address. I feel like that's very important for them to know. So I have an 8-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 2-year-old. And so they got the address down, the zip code. We're working on that phone number, but it's very important for them to know where they live and just kind of getting them in tune with what things they need to know for me, like my name, my last name, and we also talk about like things that happen, their favorite color, anything that can get a conversation going. It's a really good quality time that you can spend with them. And before, when I used to work, I didn't get to have this. So I'm really enjoying being able to do this. And we do it pretty much every day. So that's really nice. And I really enjoy that. And so after our breakfast, and we get ready, we grab our things, backpacks, and we walk down to the bus stop, and they're on their way to school. And so I actually finish either a short or long walk. It depends on what I'm doing that day. But when I come back, I do a little bit of a weight training, and that's preferably, some people can't do, their weight training session fasting, but I definitely built myself to it. Before, I would get like lightheaded or things like that. So I've been able to work myself up to how that fasting is better for me. I really enjoy doing that. In some sessions, I do eat a little bit of a snack before I work out, but mostly I'm always fasting. After my workout, we take a shower, I make my breakfast, and if you don't follow me on Instagram, I eat oatmeal on leg days. Like every other day is one of my favorite breakfasts to go. It's just super good, super filling. And it's just so good. So you'll have to check that out. And so I usually start my work day or, anything that I have to do during the day from 8:30 a.m. to 9. So a key takeaways that I want you to get from, my morning routine is quality sleep is number one. And again, a good start to your day starts at night with that sleep. So that's number one. Sleep definitely interacts with our hormones. As I mentioned, the growth hormone definitely declines with our sleep. So if it's not in an optimal place during the day, we might make poor decisions as far as, making, giving in to those cravings, as well as it affects our cell growth. It repairs our muscles. Is very important in stimulating our muscle growth, our metabolism, how our body is, breaking down our fat. And so it's very important that sleep is optimal. And it's like the first thing that if you're struggling to lose weight, that's something that might be on your number one list to start fixing or tweaking or improving, so you could see results in your journey right away. Number 2 would be water, which helps bring you back from a dehydrated state, which also when you drink those 15 ounces of water in the morning, or if you can't do that much, start with 8 and then work your way up. But it definitely helps release your stored body fat, which helps with you if you're feeling tired or just super sleepy during the day. A glass of water might be what you need to bring you back to life. Maybe not caffeine or so definitely starting with water with lemon. And again, if you can't do 15 ounces, start small. Start with 5, start with 10, and work your way up, and you'll see how easy it's gonna become as far as you doing it on a regular basis. Number 3 would be stretching, which again I've mentioned earlier. It helps with you focusing better and just really getting that blood flow going in your body. Number 4 would be having some type of tea, or again, black tea or some type of caffeine without any sugars or anything like that. The black tea that I normally take has about 40 to 80 milligrams of caffeine. So that's pretty, small. Some people are used to drinking coffee a lot, or, caffeine, and they might even have like 150 or 200 milligrams. So I think the difference between the caffeine makes a big difference on how you feel. But again, I like to start small and just kind of let your body naturally use its own energy to wake up. So this is very light, and again, I wake up at 4 and I don't have this till 2 hours later after I wake up. And so the one that I like to have, there's studies that show that having black tea or with caffeine, or just caffeine in general, helps reduce our waist circumference. So that definitely helps, especially with the quality of what you're drinking. So make sure you're drinking high quality, good stuff, because there's, cheaper things that have other things that we don't like preservatives, pesticides, things that affect our gut already. And so you might be doing more harm than good as far as that goes. Number 5 would be walking. There's evidence that shows that walking helps with reduced cravings throughout the day. So it's a really powerful tool if you can implement it in the morning. So all of these things, right? You want to stack them in your favor, because you are going to be making better decisions as you go. And so walking helps with cravings, as well as it helps release stored body fat, making it really simple for you to get to your goals, especially if you're fasting. So that's something that I would highly recommend. It gets your body moving. It gets you feeling good if you're outside, if you start your work day later, get some sun in there, it helps with mood. So it definitely a great improvement and a great movement to start during your day. And last but not least would be breakfast, number 6. And that's, I always say, high protein, keeps you fuller with some good fats, especially if you, worked out in the morning. You want to add those good carbs as well, like oatmeal, things that are high in fiber. And all of those things, if you implement them the correct way, you'll have a great way to start your day. You won't be having those sugary cravings. You won't be crashing because you're providing your body with the fuel it needs. So I hope you enjoyed this episode today, and I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am so thankful that you got to listen to this episode. And if you are looking to get coached on nutrition to finally lose the weight, schedule a call with me at JackiePools.com. And so that discovery call is usually about 30 minutes, and we talk about your goals and how we can accomplish that and how we can work together. Also, please subscribe to my free newsletter, which comes out once a week on Tuesdays, and you will get weight loss tips that you can start implementing right away, and it's just another way for us to stay connected. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you next time.